Hey, welcome back to the studio. Are you paralyzed by your perfectionism? I will give you 5 simple ways to get out of it and to feel more accomplished and more successful overall. You want things to be just right, and this probably seems crazy to anybody who doesn't feel like this, but you care deeply about justice and truth, and this extends to everything that you do to such a degree that multitasking and balancing secondary tasks, it's become almost impossible. You focus on what you know, probably your primary vocation, and you fall back on that, but dedicate minimal time and effort to anything outside of that. Because it won't meet your high expectations, you rationalize. Maybe it's not worth doing at all, or it can be set aside until you have time. But we both know that never happens. It's more nuanced than just doing nothing. This is not laziness. You're prioritizing the main event, your job, parenthood, whatever it might be, and getting blocked on practically everything else. I'm in this situation myself, and so I'm making this primarily to share some techniques with you that I will also be using. This will be a series as I work on getting the one project done that I have had on the docket since June. It's building a 10 by 20 foot garden shed with a 612 pitch and a steel roof. I'm being specific because I'm hoping for some support and accountability. You can keep an eye on me and we can help each other. Aiming at timing-wise, getting it before we're too far into winter. So this is day 1, and I'll update the series at least weekly as the project progresses with specific milestones. So the steps that I have laid out are getting a gravel pad all level. That's done. So that's something that I can say I have accomplished. Building a foundation, so a wood foundation, building the walls and getting windows and doors in, building a roof structure, adding steel roofing, and then paint, which we're probably too late for that now just because of the temperature outside. So here you go. Here are my 5 simple ways that we will use together to get out of this paralyzed state due to our perfectionism and just our mentality. So the first thing is, make a list of 3 things toward your project that you can achieve. So break it down into small, simple things. So in just the tiniest example of you've got to clean the garage, maybe just sweep by the door, just something small, take out the trash, something small just to establish progress. And those 3 things, those 3 tiny things are going to help you. You're going to feel accomplished even if they're tiny. So, a giant laundry project, just getting a load done, anything like that. We all have those things to do, and just making that small progress, you look back on those small things, and even though it might not be massive in the grand scheme of things, it really helps to feel that bit of accomplishment to give your soul kind of the hint that you can keep moving, that you can keep going. The second thing, maybe look at your scope, the scope of the project. So what are we really doing? And if you need to, write it down if you haven't already done that. Ask yourself this question: are you overthinking the project? Does it need to have the scope that you've established? Or could it have a more limited scope? Or could you somehow break it down into something smaller where maybe that's all that needs to be done this year, and once you get that done, you might feel that it's sufficient. So look at the scope, think about the total plan, and maybe reevaluate that if you need to. The third thing is, find an accountability partner. So this could be a friend, one of your kids, your spouse, your parent, whoever this might be, just somebody to text or call or have them visit, or just someone to talk through the project just for moral support. It makes a huge difference. Even if they're not participating, just having somebody there that knows that this thing needs to be done and that it's been bothering you. I know it seems silly. It might sound that way, but it makes a huge difference just to have somebody present and just kind of taking part, even if they're just standing there, just taking part, talking through it, maybe helping you with the second one, which is thinking about the scope. The fourth thing is, make a schedule, estimate it, and track it. You might use, depending on your background, you might use a notebook or a journal, you might use a spreadsheet, or you might use a tool like Trello or Asana, and you're breaking it up into chunks, and you're estimating those chunks. What I like to do is estimate things by 1 to 4 points, where a point corresponds with about a half day. So if you put a work day in on this project, let's say on a Saturday, if it's aside from your regular job, a 1-point thing would be half day. I can wake up in the morning and get it done before lunch. Or I come back to the project after lunch and I can finish it before the end of the day. That would be a 1-pointer. So if you break these up into 1 to 4-point things between a half day and 2 full days, it makes a huge difference. And whether you have it in a notebook and you're crossing off those 1 to 4-point things, or you're dragging things in Trello or Asana or whatever you're doing, just having that cathartic feeling of saying, these are things that have been accomplished, it really helps you to feel progress and know that this is completely doable and that completion is in sight, especially once you get to the point that you can look at kind of the backlog, look at the plan and know that, wow, I am more than halfway there. I made the list of these things, whether it be 10 things or 20 things or 5 or whatever, and I've got more than half of them done. Then you really get excited, and maybe you can even increase your velocity and get things done even faster. But especially when you estimate something and get it done in less time, that also just feels really good. It just helps to have those estimates there, and it helps to be pulling those things through, whether you call them stories or chunks or steps or whatever. As you're accomplishing those things, it really helps. The 5th thing is to document and celebrate milestones. So I listed my milestones, and I can tell you when I get the roofing material on, it's going to feel amazing. But even just getting the foundation built, getting walls erected, getting a roof structure on there, it's going to feel really good. And each time along the way, I'm going to find a way to celebrate. And I don't know what it's going to be. It might be, going for a special walk or going for a hike or, pizza party. I don't know what it is, but something special. And, those are just kind of those little rewards to remind your temporal existence that things really matter and that you're accomplishing something, and that even though you have that tendency toward getting everything just right, there's progress being made. And, sometimes we have to think differently about, maybe things aren't exactly just right, but maybe you look back on it and think, wow, it really was great because it's done, and it's done to a degree that actually is pretty good and feels good. And maybe everything doesn't need to be perfect. So especially when we're talking about things like getting the garage cleaned up or building a structure or, whatever those kind of secondary things are in our life, sometimes it's just really good to get them done, and maybe perfect can come later. So thanks for listening. Be sure to subscribe so you can kind of follow along, follow the series, and definitely keep me posted on your progress as you work through this yourself. And we'll kind of help each other, and it'll be really great. I will be your accountability partner. So take care. Thank you so much, and God bless.